Are we back? We're back. I've got connection issues. I still can't see who's typing on the screen. Nothing but headaches at the moment. I'm trying to get it rectified. Maybe it's my phone. Maybe I'll have to try it in the old phone I've got. But either way, so e-scooters. What's your opinion on e-scooters? If I don't manage to see what you're typing here, then you can save it, wait till the video's finished, and drop it as a regular comment in the comment section down below. What do you think of these devices, electric scooters? Do you think they are the best thing ever? Do you think e-scooters are the next generation of travel within London that doesn't involve using a bicycle? Do you think it's a nice upgrade from using your legs? Do you prefer it to using public transport? On the flip side of that, do you absolutely hate these things? Do you hate e-scooters and how much they cost and what they are and how you think you'd look if you was to be using them? E-scooters, I mean, what's your opinion on them? Because my opinion on e-scooters is as follows. I believe e-scooters to be an expensive pain in the backside, which is nothing but dangerous for not only themselves, but every other person in the immediate vicinity of them. And I'm going to tell you why. E-scooters, as it stands currently, are forbidden on the pavement. They are forbidden to be used on the sidewalk for those Americans out there. E-scooters are currently also forbidden on the use of Her Majesty's highways. They can't even be used on the roads. And here's the best thing about it with e-scooters. If you are caught using them either on the pavement or on the road by a police officer who should be doing his or her job correctly, you are then liable for a £300 fine. Oh, it gets better. And 6 points on your driving license should you have one. The only place you can use an e-scooter legally is on private land, providing the owner of said land has given you the permission to use it. So now I ask you, what is your opinion on e-scooters? Has your opinion changed now that I've given you some information about e-scooters, what you needed to know? So now it's a case of when I go down the street, when I drive around central London today, which is what I do on a daily basis, and I see grown men and grown women getting around London on what is essentially a beefed up child's toy, which is what it is, and then I see police cars sitting there, I will open up my window and I will say, "Officer, please do your job. Lawbreaker over there." But see, police don't care. See, the police don't care. They are allegedly underfunded and understaffed, which I can believe to a point, you see, because I know the police have a lot to do. They don't want to have to deal with the likes of Timothy Sampson, who goes to work on his e-scooter because it's so trendy, right? There's going to be someone out there that fits that profile. There is, and then so they've got no resources for that. But yet 2 weeks ago in Peckham, I saw 8 police officers and 2 police vans surrounding one drunk man in Peckham that was sitting on a bench minding his own business. And yet there's no police. See, I think the police waste their money somewhat on things that don't need wasting on. If they were to focus on things that are actually happening, like knife crime, you know, which is at the top end of the scale, to these electric scooters, which are at the bottom end of the scale, you know, as opposed to, you know, picking on this poor bloke that had had a skinful, that was minding his own business, sitting on a public bench with no alcohol, might I say. He had no alcohol with him, but for some reason there was 8 of them. Was there really a need for 8 officers and 2 vans for one elderly pisshead? Was there really? So no, I think much better resources can be put into traffic management, you know, and knife crime and all these other things that are going on in London. But e-scooters specifically, I see them on a daily basis, and they have absolutely no clue. They are even worse in some respects than the cyclists. They are, because they go down the road at around about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Okay, now most cyclists are a hell of a lot faster than that, because they want to get somewhere really, really quick. That's why they use a bike, okay? Most cyclists will go through red lights, you know, on their road bike, as opposed to a hybrid or a mountain bike. They've got their road bike, the expensive one, the one that costs about 2 or 3 grand. You know, they're dressed up in their Lycra. You know, they've got bike face, which is usually this, as they're going down the road. You know, and they'll go through red lights. They will undertake the bus when the bus is doing 18 in a 20 zone, keeping it safe for everyone. You see, cyclists are a hell of a lot faster than buses a lot of the time. Buses have to keep it safe. But when we're going below the speed limit, which is what we should be doing at all times anyway, and we're stuck behind Timothy Anthem on his e-scooter that works in the centre of the city. Him, yeah, that guy. When he's doing 10 miles per hour and we've got no space to overtake because of all the cyclists that are on our right hand side, it then becomes an issue, because I end up then becoming late. Because even when I stop at the bus stop and Timothy Anthem has gone through a red light on his e-scooter, by the time I get going again, I'm then stuck behind him again, which means I'm now making myself even later because I can't overtake, because there's yet more cyclists on my right hand side passing me. So it's just an ongoing thing. I see these guys on these electric scooters on the pavement literally weaving in and out of everyone. You know, they go in and out of absolutely everyone. There was one yesterday I saw on the roundabout at Trafalgar Square, not knowing how to navigate a roundabout. Now, when you're on a bicycle, you're supposed to use the left-hand lane to circumnavigate a roundabout, and whatever lane you wish. Okay, you must stay on the left when you're on a roundabout on a bicycle. A lot of cyclists don't know that. So it doesn't matter whether it's the first exit or the 5th exit. It makes no difference. You must stay in the left-hand lane if you're on a bike. I would assume that if the law was different and these things were allowed on the road, that e-scooters would have to follow the same guidelines, the same sort of boundaries, the same sort of common sense malarkey. Okay, but no, I'm in the middle lane on this roundabout, wanting to turn right onto Whitehall. The left-hand lane is for vehicles going down Northumberland Avenue. The right-hand lane is for circumnavigating, going back on yourself to Cockspur Street or going down the Strand, whatever. The middle lane is for vehicles wanting to turn right and then take the exit onto Whitehall. This is what happens. So of course I'm in the middle lane, and that's the traffic lights on this roundabout, because it's the traffic light roundabout. The lights go green, a taxi zips past me, because taxi drivers love going through red lights. Okay. And as I've pulled away, there was an e-cyclist, an e-scooter, which was tucked up just on the left-hand side of this scooter, and the taxi had managed to just overtake it as I was pulling forward, and I nearly hit the bastard. Luckily for me, I see things, you know, and I react to them in a safe manner. But, you know, it does get to me a little bit, it really does. You know, you think you're shielded by a taxi. If I had gone through that light, if I had approached that set of traffic lights, the lights had changed green and I didn't have to stop and I had momentum to go around, and that taxi had gone through that red light like he did, okay, I may or may not have been able to stop. Who knows? But if I had gone through those lights on a green and that taxi driver had gone through that red light, and if I had hit that taxi, that person on the e-scooter would have died. They would have died straight up, dead. Brown bread. Absolutely squashed to buggery. Buggery is not that much of a bad word, although it is frowned upon in many cases. Buggery is also frowned upon in many cases. So smiled in some cases too. So, e-scooters, so let's just remember this, okay? If you are considering being one of those guys, if you are considering buying an electric scooter, if you think you're tired of walking, legs need an upgrade, you don't want to buy a bike because you are too lazy to ride a bike and yet you're too lazy to walk, if you don't want to use your bus pass and you think the best way of getting around anywhere is on an e-scooter, just remember, I'll give you the facts again if you're just catching these dulcet tones now, okay? £300 fine, whether you use it on the road or the pavement, okay? Because they are illegal. And if you have a driving license while using these things, 6 points on your license. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 6 points and a £300 fine if you get caught by the fuzz, yeah? With an e-scooter on Her Majesty's public highways or footpaths, basically. And yet again, the only place it is legal to use e-scooters, which is the same as a Segway basically, it's an electric form of transportation that involves two wheels and the human operated ability, you know, so you need permission from whoever owns said private land in order for you to use these things. So they are dangerous. They are not legal. You know, and even if they were, you would need some form of insurance, which would never happen. Would never happen. You know, Tith Anthony here, I've got my e-scooter. Yeah, I want to make a claim on my insurance. Yeah. Well, I was on my way to work. I went through a red light. And yeah, a bus hit me. Yeah, oh, it was totally his fault. Yeah, I see that happening. Yeah, of course. Yeah, or I went past the taxi and I scratched his paintwork, and I took off his left hand wing mirror. When what he should have said was, I went through a red light, I accidentally caught the side of the taxi, damaging his paintwork, and I caught his offside mirror. Sorry, his near side mirror. Yeah, it was my fault, but I still want to make a claim. Could you imagine that happening? No. These things don't happen, so please be careful. If you are going to be one of those people that buys an e-scooter, be careful. I can't tell you what to do. All I can do is give you information. That's all I can do. That's all I ever try and do, is give people information. If you still want to be that person, if you still want to take the risk and risk your own life and other people's safety by using one of these ridiculous devices, then please do what you do, and you do it well. Other than that, it is Thursday for many people, for many bus drivers actually. Thursday is the poorest day of the week. So it looks like it's going to be a bottle of water day for lunch. Things ain't that bad. Things ain't that bad. So anyway, I'm going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic Thursday. And remember, the day is always as good as you want to make it. because no one can ruin your day. The day is yours. Use it well. Have a fantastic one.